Subscribe to the channel and also press the bell icon to never miss an update from Endeavour Careers. Welcome to Endeavour's GK capsule for the January month. India celebrated its 70th Republic Day on 26th January. Major news highlights this month are in the areas of awards, persons in news, national and international news, among others. Let us start the video with the first category, which is awards and recognitions. President Ramnath Kovind conferred the highest civilian award Bharat Ratna for the year 2019 to 3 recipients, namely Pranab Mukherjee, Nanaji Deshmukh and Bhupen Hazarika. Pranab Mukherjee was the former President of India. He is an outstanding statesman of our country and has handled key positions of finance, defense and foreign ministers in different governments. Nanaji Deshmukh was a senior leader of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh who worked for rural development and welfare of farmers. He established the first Saraswati Shishu Mandir for promoting primary education at Gorakhpur in 1950. The third recipient, Bhupen Hazarika, was an Assamese musician. He was a music composer, lyricist, singer, poet and filmmaker. He introduced the culture and folk music of Northeast to Hindi cinema. Along with Bharat Ratna, Ashok Chakra, which is India's highest peacetime gallantry award, was also presented during the Republic Day celebrations. The winner of Ashok Chakra 2019 is Lance Nayak Nazir Ahmed Wani. Wani was a soldier from Kashmir. He killed 6 militants in an encounter before being hit by bullets. After a gap of 4 years, the central government announced the winners for the prestigious Gandhi Peace Prize for the years 2015, 16, 17 and 18. While Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari won the award for 2015 for rural development and education, for 2016, the award has been jointly given to Akshay Patra Foundation for providing midday meals to children in government schools and Sulabh International for its work towards sanitation and hygiene. For 2017, the award has been given to Ekai Abhiyan Trust for contribution to education of rural and tribal children, and for 2018 to WHO Goodwill Ambassador Yohei Sasakawa for his role in leprosy eradication. This is the first time that the winners of 4 years have been announced together ever since the award started in 1995. Prime Minister Narendra Modi received the first ever Philip Kotler Presidential Award for his outstanding leadership. Philip Kotler is a professor of marketing at Kellogg School of Management and is regarded as the father of marketing. The next category is persons in news. Former IAS officer Sudhir Bhargav has been appointed as the 9th Chief Information Commissioner of India. Along with Bhargav, 4 new members have also been appointed to the Central Information Commission, taking its total strength to 7. The Central Information Commission is the highest appellate authority under the Right to Information Act 2005. Senior Supreme Court Judge Justice A.K. Sikri has been nominated as the Executive Chairman of National Legal Services Authority, NALSA. The Chief Justice of India is the Patron-in-Chief and the senior-most judge of Supreme Court of India is the Executive Chairman of NALSA. NALSA has been constituted in 1987 to provide free legal services to the weaker sections of the society. NALSA ensures speedy disposal of cases. Its primary objectives also include reducing the burden of the judiciary by organizing Lok Adalats. Eminent Hindi writer Krishna Sobti died in Delhi at the age of 93 years. Born in 1925 in Gujarat province of Pakistan, Krishna Sobti was a prominent voice who raised issues of female identity in literature. She won the prestigious Gyanpith Award in 2017. Her latest book, Chana, was launched in World Book Fair just 2 weeks before her death. Some of her prominent works are Mitro Marjani, Zindagi Nama and Surajmukhi Andhere Ke. Veteran Bollywood actor Kader Khan died in Canada due to a prolonged illness. Born in Kabul, Kader Khan made his acting debut in 1973. Since then, he had acted in over 300 films and wrote dialogues for over 250 movies. In the Places and News category, the first big international gathering of the year was the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in the Swiss city of Davos. Politicians, academics, businessmen, and billionaires made up the guest list, while campaigners and activists staged rallies outside the venue. According to Oxfam International report, released before the meeting, top 1% of India's richest holds 51% of the national wealth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated 2 new museums in the month of January. The first ever National Museum of Indian Cinema was inaugurated in Mumbai. Another museum named Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Museum at Red Fort in New Delhi was inaugurated on the birth anniversary of Subhash Chandra Bose on 23rd January. The 106th edition of Indian Science Congress was held at Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar. The Congress was attended by 30,000 scientists, including 6 Nobel Prize winners. The theme of the Indian Science Congress this year was Future India, Science and Technology. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while delivering the opening address, added a new term to the famous slogan given by the former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri to coin a new slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. In the national news this month, President Ramnath Kovind gave his approval to the 103rd Constitutional Amendment Bill that seeks to provide 10% reservation in jobs and higher educational institutions to economically weaker sections among the upper castes or general category candidates. Gujarat became the first state to implement this 10% reservation for the general category. The eligibility criteria for availing this reservation benefit has been kept at family income below 8 lakhs per annum and less than 5 acres of agriculture land. The 10% reservation will be in addition to the existing limit of 49% reservation for the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward castes. The new reservation law, however, is likely to face a challenge in courts as Supreme Court had rejected a similar proposal in its earlier judgment in Indira Sahni case in 1992. The Hyderabad High Court has been officially bifurcated on 1st January into Telangana and Andhra Pradesh High Courts. Till now, cases of both the states were being heard by the High Court at Hyderabad. The Telangana High Court will continue functioning from Hyderabad. Justice T.B. Radhakrishnan has been appointed as the first Chief Justice of the Telangana High Court. On the other hand, Andhra Pradesh High Court has been moved to Amravati, the upcoming capital of Andhra Pradesh. Justice C. Praveen Kumar was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice of the Andhra Pradesh High Court. In a fresh twist to the controversy going on in CBI, Alok Verma was finally removed from the post of CBI director. Earlier in the month of October, the central government sent Alok Verma on a forced leave. Verma approached the Supreme Court against this order. The Supreme Court set aside the leave orders by central government and reinstated Alok Verma as the CBI director. The Supreme Court referred to Vineet Narayan judgment of 1997 in which the tenure of CBI director had been fixed for 2 years. However, a high-powered committee comprised of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, and Justice A.K. Sikri recommended the removal of Alok Verma from the position of CBI director with immediate effect on 10th January. The meeting to appoint the new CBI director in place of Alok Verma on 24th January remained inconclusive. Lok Sabha passed the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016 during the winter session of the Parliament on 7th January. The bill is now pending in Rajya Sabha. The bill aims to allow non-Muslim minorities, that is Hindu, Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, Jain and Parsi from Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan to apply for Indian citizenship within 6 years of entering India instead of the present 11 years. However, the bill has triggered protests across the northeastern states. Protesters have expressed fears that the new citizenship bill will encourage migration from Bangladesh into their areas. The events have also taken a political color, with BJP ally Assam Gan Parishad withdrawing from the coalition government in Assam. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2019 celebration was organized at Varanasi from 21st January. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas or NRI Day is celebrated every year on 9th January in the memory of Mahatma Gandhi's homecoming in 1915 to lead the freedom struggle. This year, the event was organized from 21st January instead of the usual 9th January to allow NRIs to visit the Kumbh Mela as well as attend the Republic Day parade. The Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Jagannath, was the chief guest at the occasion. A 35-day-long struggle between President Donald Trump and the US Congress has finally ended on 25th January. Donald Trump enacted a partial shutdown of the government on 22nd December after the US Congress refused his demand for $5 billion to construct a wall between USA and Mexico. A wall on US-Mexico border to prevent illegal entry into the US was one of the cornerstones of Trump's election campaign. However, Democrats fiercely opposed to this idea. Democrats, who secured majority in the House of Representatives after the November 2018 mid-elections, have insisted that they will not give Trump that money. Almost 500,000 federal employees worked without pay for the period of the shutdown. The British Parliament has rejected the Brexit proposal of Prime Minister Theresa May. The British House of Commons voted against the deal struck between British government and the European Union in November last year. Theresa May herself narrowly survived a no-confidence brought by opposition Labour Party. Britain is now staring at a possibility of an abrupt no-deal break with European Union, as the final deadline for British exit from the group is 29th March. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been re-elected as the Prime Minister for the fourth term. Her party Awami League won 288 of the total 300 seats in the parliament. The election process, however, was marred by violence as at least 17 people were killed in clashes. Critics are accusing Sheikh Hasina of authoritarianism and political revenge, especially against the main opposition leader, Khalida Zia, who is serving 17 years in prison on corruption charges. The next category is news from business, commerce and industrial sector. In the first ever three-way amalgamation in Indian banking sector, Union government has approved the merger of Bank of Baroda, Vijaya Bank and Dena Bank. The new entity created will be India's second largest public sector bank after SBI and third largest bank after SBI and ICICI. The amalgamation will come into force from 1st April 2019. The World Economic Outlook report, published by International Monetary Fund, has retained India's GDP growth projection at 7.5% for the year 2019-20 and 7.7% for 2020-21. With this, India is expected to remain the fastest growing economy in the world. The IMF has estimated China's growth rate to be 6.6% and 6.2% in the corresponding period. The next category is summits, conferences and reports released this month. Henley Passport Index, which periodically measures the access each country's passport affords, has declared that Japan has the most powerful passport in 2019. Japan retains its top spot as the world's most travel-friendly passport thanks to its access to 190 countries. South Korea and Singapore are at joint second in the ranking. India jumped 2 places to 79th rank in this year's ranking. In the latest University Rankings 2019 of Times Higher Education Emerging Economies, 49 institutions from India have got the place, including 25 in the top 200. India's performance improved as last year there were 17 Indian institutions in the top 200. Indian Institute of Science, or IISc, Bengaluru, at 14th place, is the leading Indian institution in the list, followed by IIT Bombay. In the sports category, Virat Kohli created history by becoming the first cricketer to win all the 3 top ICC individual awards for the year 2018. He was adjudged ICC Men's Test Player of the Year, ICC ODI Player of the Year, and Sir Garfield Sobers Trophy for ICC Cricketer of the Year. Rishabh Pant was declared ICC Men's Emerging Cricketer of the Year. India's left-handed opener, Smriti Mandhana, has been named as ICC Women's Cricketer of the Year 2018. Wrestler Vinesh Phogat became the first Indian athlete to be nominated for the prestigious Laureus World Comeback of the Year award. She was injured during Rio Olympics 2016 and made a comeback after nearly 2 years in 2018 to win a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games and a silver at Asian Games. The Laureus Sports Awards will be announced on 18th February. In the end, let us look at some other miscellaneous news items. IIT Hyderabad has become the first institute in the country to launch a full-fledged bachelor's program in artificial intelligence technology. In a similar but unrelated development, Facebook is setting up an institute for ethics in artificial intelligence in collaboration with the Technical University of Munich. The institute will look into the issues that affect the use of AI, such as safety, privacy, fairness, and transparency. The panel, headed by IIT Hyderabad Chairman BVR Mohan Reddy, has recommended to All India Council for Technical Education to not allow setting up of any new engineering colleges from 2020. The panel also suggested that no additional seats should be approved in the traditional engineering areas such as mechanical, electrical, civil, and electronics, and the current capacity in the traditional disciplines should be converted to emerging areas, namely artificial intelligence, blockchain, robotics, quantum computing, data sciences, cybersecurity, and 3D printing. So with this, we have come to the end of this GK capsule. We hope you like the coverage of topics in our videos. Kindly drop in your suggestions in the comment box. Do also watch our other videos. Happy learning. Thank you.